Okay guys, so this is going to be part 4 of Let's Build an Arcade. First step is going to be making sure you got your micro SD card, whatever size you're going to get. Link to this one is in my description. It is 128 gigabyte SanDisk Ultra. It's not going to matter what size you get. The bigger the better, obviously, because you're going to be able to add more to it. But you could, if you have a smaller card, whatever, just omit what you don't want to add from the packs that I'm going to release. But from here, pop it into your PC. Sorry about that. So we got that bad boy in there. Let's not bother opening it at the moment. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to download the fresh Retropie 4.2 image that we're going to build on. It's just an image, there's nothing on it, just your basic clean image, and that's where we're going to start. So you're going to want to go to this link, and I will put this in the description as well, retropie.org.uk/download, bam. And then you're going to go down here. You got your Pi01 build and then your Pi2.3 build. So we're going to want to click the Pi2.3. Let that bad boy start. 602 megabytes. I already have that downloaded. But you're going to want to download that, get back to your desktop, and you will have, it'll look like, you know, it's an image file, but it needs to be unzipped. I already unzipped it, and we have the image file here. And after unzipping it, it's going to be a little over 2 gigs. So keep that in mind if you're using a smaller card. 8 gigabytes is pretty much the minimum, I would say, if you want to add a few things. We are going to be doing an attract mode build, so 8 gigs probably won't be big enough unless you want to stick to an emulation station build. So from there, we already popped in our micro SD card. We're going to go ahead and format that. I'm going to use SD formatter. Bam, bam, bam. The bad boy is formatted. Total space 119 gigabytes, and this is how many bytes, 127, 831, blah blah blah. That's all great and dandy. Exit out of there, and then we're going to want to open up our WinDisk imager, and I'll put links to both of those guys in the description in case you don't already have them. Go ahead and open up our WinDisk imager. Now we're going to search for that image that we're looking for. Go through all my crap here, and this is where I have my 4.2 Retropie 4.2 Pi3 image, fresh from Retropie. Hasn't been touched, there's nothing on it. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we're going to click write. So that's going to write the data from that file to your micro SD card. It's just going to tell you that it could corrupt the device, whatever, we're good. So from there, it's going to take a little while depending on the card you're using, on what the write speeds are, but it really shouldn't take too long because it's only 2 gigs, so a couple minutes tops. But we'll dive in right after that, give it a few minutes, be a little patient. Let's get this party started. Okay guys, so from here, we just booted up our fresh image that we burned for our Pi3 build. Retropie 4.2. The first thing we're going to need to do before you boot it up, make sure you have a keyboard attached, because you are going to need your keyboard. So the next steps are going to be, we're going to input our controls, and then we're going to put in our Wi-Fi information, unless you're going to use an Ethernet cable and a wired connection. So wait for this to reboot, or to boot up. Usually when you first boot up a fresh image, it'll resize the partition and all that wonderful stuff. So let's go ahead and do this part real quick. So player one side, if you made the same kit, or you got the same kit or similar, 20 buttons, this is what we need to do. Hold down any button on your first player side, follow it up, down, left, right. Start's going to be our player one button, select is our coin button, A is the bottom middle, B is the bottom left, X is the top middle, Y is the top left, The L button is our top right. The R button is our bottom right. Then the rest of these we don't need, so we will just hold a button down and go through that and let it skip those guys. And then we'll repeat the same thing for player 2 side real quick. Boom. And then we'll go ahead, press start, go down, configure input, press A. Say, are you sure? Hell yes, we're sure. Hold down a button on player 2 side, up, down, left, right, start player 2 start, select as coin, A, B, X, Y, L, R, and then skip the rest. These you would only configure if you were building a setup with like a controller with analog sticks and whatnot. But since we're doing an arcade build, we don't need any of that. And then we will do one more. We're going to do our keyboard just to make something simple. You don't have to, but I like to put in my keyboard. Up, down, left, right. On my directional start, I put enter, select, spacebar. Then for the letters, I just use the letters from the keyboard. So A, B, X, Y. Makes it easy so I don't forget them. L, R. And then the rest of them, you can just put in random letters. Doesn't really matter. Or you can skip them if you want to do it correctly. But this doesn't really hurt anything because we don't use the keyboard for anything other than some of the configurations, or if you just want to scroll through your system real quick. So now we're going to go into the Retropie configuration, press our A button, go down to our Wi-Fi, boom. Okay, so to connect to the Wi-Fi, once we get in here, just going to click enter and connect to Wi-Fi, search for your network, hit enter, put in our password, hit enter on OK. You should connect, no issue. This step you don't need to do if you're going to use an Ethernet cable and be wired in. But if you're going to go Wi-Fi, you got to make sure you're doing it this way. So let's get back to it. Now, a couple things you could do. We want to install a track mode. So you can install a track mode from the Retropie setup screen through the experimental packages, but we're not going to do it that way. We're going to do it the longer way, but make sure we're getting everything the way it's supposed to be. A fresh install. If you do it through the experimental packages, it would actually be the last step you would want to do when you're building your system. So from there, if you wanted to go that route, you can go to, and we'll go ahead and take a look, Retropie setup. So you see we're on version 4.2. You want to go to manage packages, manage experimental packages. It should be all the way at the bottom, or pretty close to the bottom. Track mode. So if you wanted to install it here, install from source, if you do that, it's going to try to set everything up for you from all the files you have on your system. So it'll kind of it'll make things easier in the long run, but I've never installed it from source and used it from the experimental packages. The one time I did, I just ran into a lot of issues, but doing it a fresh install from the command prompt, I haven't had any issues. So that's the way I want to do it. That's the way I want to show you to do it. But like I said, if you want to go the quick and easy route, that I can't guarantee your results, but I know you should do that after you've transferred all your games and images to the system. But just to get started from here on our keyboard, we will go ahead and press F4 to get to our command prompt. Now what we're going to do, and I have a cheat sheet here and I will provide this for everybody. We are going to want to create our build environment. So we will make the develop directory, and then our next step is we're going to install sfml-pi and our track mode dependencies. So we'll go through a few of these steps real quick. This can take a little while, but it's well worth it, trust me. Now, all the stuff I'm typing, obviously you can SSH in and you know, use the appropriate program for that and just copy and paste this stuff in, make it a lot easier on you. I don't typically like doing that. I don't know why. So in this video, that's not the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to type everything. But when you're typing everything, you need to ensure you are not making any typos. Just kind of go over it real quick, make sure your spaces are there, everything's typed correctly. Hit enter. Cool. Enable locate lib free type. That was my mistake. We'll redo that. Okay, I did make a typo. My bad. And then if you made a typo, it'll just tell you, hey, we already did all this stuff when you actually put it in correctly. And the one that you fixed, it'll do it and then go through everything. But it is best to try to make sure you're not having any of those issues there. Okay. So we did that part. Now we're going to download and build the sfml-pi. So we're going to want to go ahead and change our directory to develop. Okay, little edit there, but getting back to it. So we changed our directory to develop, and now we're going to make sure we type this in, git clone dep1 sfml-pi, whatnot. Just copy and paste that in or type it in. Go ahead and clone into that. Take a moment. That part is done. Now we're going to make directory sfml-pi build. Cool. track mode installed. So this has been a pretty lengthy video. It's already close to 2 a.m. that I've been recording this. A lot of edits, fast forwards. So I'm going to end this video here and post up the next one of this series. We will go ahead and add the menu option in Emulation Station to switch back and forth, because if we go back in Emulation Station, it's not going to show a track mode. So from here, we have a track mode set up. It's installed anyway. Everything's looking good. Very lengthy process. Just be patient with it. Follow the steps that I put. They're in the description. I have them popping up on screen. Follow that precisely and you should be good. I'm wore out just from sitting here typing all this stuff and waiting around. So make sure you got the time to do this. Some snacks, or you can, whatever you got to do. Clean the house, walk the dog, whatever. Just make sure you have some time to get this done. It'll take you, a little while. So next video, we'll go ahead and start configuring everything. We'll set up to make sure that we have the menu option in an Emulation Station to switch back and forth. And I will catch you guys next time. Thank you.